fuel system. So the 04 Mustang GT, Cobra, Mach 1, take your pick. They all run a returnless style fuel system. Obviously, I have to go to a return style fuel system. So I've done some modifying, some research. We are going to be using a 1998 Mustang GT fuel hat, fuel assembly, rather. This was bought new. What we are going to do is, and I bought it new, and there's some references that it's a stock 255 liter per hour. I couldn't find anything definitive. I had seen that somewhere, so I went and picked up a fuel pump for a 2003 to 2005 Lincoln Aviator 4.6. It's a stock 300 liter per hour pump, which is plenty for a Coyote swap. So the only thing I'm going to be doing right now, I kind of worked through taking this back out of the tank. I'm going to punch some holes in it so I make sure I don't, suck the hat dry. It is going to be NA, so probably going to be running it, through twisties, as I like to call them, switchbacks, as they're technically called. I'm waiting on an internal line. This is pieced together. This isn't really like a kit. So there's parts that kind of get missed, and that's what we're doing. We're trying to put all the pieces together and then make them work for as cheap as we can, while also not having to do it twice. So I'm gonna punch some holes. I'm gonna put this pump in. The old pump I've already removed out of the holder there. It's pretty much a direct swap. You're gonna fight it a little bit, but so far it hasn't been that bad. So here we go. One. Stock. Oh yeah. Coils are putting together. There's a difference. I had to mark it, as a matter of fact. That's it. Positive. Positive, positive. Around the ground. This is a piece of fuel line. So, getting the hat, as the hat top part, to get down to the in-tank assembly, it would bend it real far, which is basically going to create a lot of unneeded restriction that I really didn't want to have to fight, like fuel starvation issues. So what I decided to do instead, they have a fancy term for this. I want to say it's convoluted, literally. I just call it corrugated because that's what it looks like. But I just bought in-tank E85 ready because we will be doing E85. Corrugated pipe, hooked it all up, hooked it up to the pump, hooked it up to the hat, and then that way when I go down, you see it doesn't want to kink. So that's solid. We are going to tidy up a few little things on the fuel system here, and then it's ready for the tank. On here is barbed. My fitting here that you see is 3/8. So it's a 3/8 out of the Corvette regulator filter. It's 3/8, so just bent 3/8 line. I have a video on all that. This is just kind of the short, sweet version of it. I bought a 3/8 to 5/16 reducer. So this clips on here, and then I terminate it here, and that's it. So I terminate it to the main hard line, to this hard line, with a 3/8 to 5/16 reducer. Done. And if I need to, I'll be able to cut it if something doesn't mesh up right. All right, so that's really all that's left is dropping this in the tank, which I've already test fit. It snaps in. I just decided that rather than gamble of whether or not it actually had a 250, we're just going to put a known enough pump. So I've already got the holes drilled. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now the $1 million question. Why didn't I in it? So there's a couple of ways to skin the cat. The biggest one comes down to money and availability to get the parts or whatever. So the reducer fitting, two 3/8 quick connects, and then the 5/16 quick connect. So I bought a 5-pack of each just to have stock, because my other car, I had plenty. The most common size is 3/8, 5/16. So I brought in more than I needed, not exactly what I needed, but two of the 3/8 were $11.99 on Amazon. The reducer and the reducer barb, so just a straight fitting that reduces, and you can snap it into like a nylon connector or something like that. Those come in a pack for $8. The 3/8 line that I bent, that I actually, used a copper bender and bent it up, that came in a multiple pack. Again, chunked some of that up. There were two at 24, so $12. The 5/16, I'm actually going to use it on the restoration that I'm working on. Well, I will be working on. So yeah, the 3/8 at $11.99, the 5/16 and the barb, which I didn't need the barb, it was $8.99, so we're at $20. That at 12, you're looking at 32 for that. I don't really know I'm not really going to count the pump, because you're going to need a pump anyway. The hose, this corrugated hose, was 10. So that's what, 40. So yeah, for about 40 bucks. So I don't have any -6 AN line. I also really didn't feel like the labor of making the AN line. It looked 10 times better, you know, I guess to a degree. I think it looks pretty good. You know, if somebody looks at it and they're like, hey man, I could have done that better. Oh, that's good. You know, why are you under my car looking at my fuel tank? So yeah, it's basically cost. So it was, you can get the Russell fittings and all that to do the AN setup. But for me, it just wasn't really that advantageous. Plus I already had to buy a hat. It wasn't like I was welding into the old hat, which was an option, you know, but why not, right? It's already here. So all that's left is drop this in the tank, get the tank back up there, hook up my 5/16 return line, my 3/8 feed line. So, you know, hopefully a short amount of time doing all of that. Got far more pain in the ass things to do than the fuel system, but fuel system's done. So all the parts are on. That's it.